Anything
could happen.
You're plugged in with Jack and Nikki. This is the Jack and Nikki Show.
Headline here I've been looking at that I haven't had time to get to, and I feel like now is a great time to bring it up. It's about talking to yourself. According to research, it's not just for crazy people anymore. Yeah, and I thought I would toss in some sound effects to make it as insulting as possible.
Excellent.
I'd say mission accomplished. Yeah. Insensitive and offensive. Hurtful and unnecessary, if you will. Look, there's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It means that you don't have an internal monologue. The same chatter that's going on in your head is going on in front of everyone. That's the only difference. The San Francisco Chronicle says a growing number of people have been talking to themselves throughout the pandemic, and according to researchers, people are more likely to speak out loud in stressful situations. And so what you're seeing is a lot of people wandering around muttering to themselves in a way that they didn't used to.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, why these same people were also soaked in their own urine, that's not mentioned in this article, but I think that's probably something worth looking into. Would you agree?
We might need to think about that,
Yeah, that's right. So my question to you guys is this. Have you caught yourself talking to yourself more? I mean, openly, out loud, talking to yourself more? Let's say in public places. 888-777-6640. You can call us and talk out loud into your phone so we can hear you. Text the show at 35651, and you can use voice to text if you're talking out loud. Just hit the button.
That always works well.
And while you're, doing your insane ramblings, that'll be recorded, and then just hit send. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see what you have to say about this. I have seen quite a few people talking to themselves in grocery stores, and I've done it.
I talk to myself while I'm shopping. Absolutely. Even I have my list in front of me. I am checking it off, but I'm also saying out loud, okay, I got this, I got this, I got this. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I will sit alone in a room and talk. I call that broadcasting. That's what's funny is people don't realize, working here, we've got a bunch of radio stations in this building, mm-hmm. and I always think about how strange it is when I walk down the hall and hear people alone in studios just talking. Just talking.
And that's what we do.
It's what we do.
We just sit in the studio.
And talk.
In a room, no windows, and the walls are padded.
Hang on a second. Are we in a radio station or an insane asylum? What is going on here? That's a good point, Nikki Drake.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. If I could redirect the conversation slightly.
Can you?
I see a lot of people talking to themselves in Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get really bad at Aldi, and I try to refrain from muttering to myself too much. But I know my mask is on, so I can do it a little bit more, and there's some freedom there.
Yeah, because people can't read your lips; they can just hear mumble.
They can't
mutter.
See my whole facial expression either, so I'm just
yeah. I'm just so interested though when I see people doing that because they're so lost in thought, and your mind is usually, if you're not aware of it, you don't control it, it's just going to chatter away on you. Mm-hmm. And most people can at least keep that chatter from coming out of their mouth. But sometimes
it's way better when you don't.
Sometimes it comes out.
Yeah.
But again, the only difference, before you get all judgmental on somebody you see talking to themselves, the only difference between you and them is their lips are moving. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're walking around lost in thought. You're just thinking about what you have to do, the things you need to buy, your plans for later in the day, the people you hate. Mm-hmm. All that stuff is... Right? I should have said this. Yeah. If he does that again, I'll tell him that. Everybody's doing that. Some people are saying it out loud.
The person taking way too long to get an item in the same area you need to be in.
Yeah. The thing that really makes no sense, though, that I find endlessly entertaining, that we all do, of us do.
Oh, boy, what do we do?
I love this, and I'm working on it, is when you are in your car and somebody does something that displeases you, they cut you off or they're speeding or whatever, any number of infractions, and you yell at them in your car and you say horrible things about them and you hate on them and you're doing it out loud and they can't hear you and neither can anyone else and it's accomplishing nothing.
It is well, no.
All it does is upset you further.
Oh, it upsets you further. I see. Yes. It gets it off my chest and I feel better once I say something because constantly on Greenbag Road, people are crossing that center line and I'm just like, what are you doing? Can you not just control your vehicle?
Can you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, well... The goal is to be in enough control of yourself so that you do not allow those things to upset you. You just need to be above that. Now, I'm going to tell you, that is often not the case with me. I don't know what it is about, and I think most people are like this. You get so much angrier over what's happening on the road, and you say things that you would never say to somebody who is standing in front of you in line at the store or standing beside you in an elevator.
Sure.
You would never turn to somebody who's shoulder to shoulder go, "Oh, you piece of crap! What are you, stupid idiot? I hate you!"
Okay,
you would never do that.
If you can't get it out while you're in your vehicle, would you end up saying that stuff to somebody in the grocery store or elsewhere
That's a good
where
question.
you're face to face?
Could very well happen.
This could be therapy. It's like your therapy. You're in the vehicle.
Well, I think that's a little grandiose.
I mean, maybe.
Your therapy.
It could be. It
your
could
therapy
be
is screaming yourself hoarse alone inside your own car.
Yeah.
I don't think that's healthy. Let's go to the text lines here and get some final thoughts from you guys on talking to yourself in public places. It's all the rage thanks to the pandemic, and, well, we've mostly gone insane. Some of these are actually really helpful, and then some are just hilarious. But, for example, text, before I leave my house, I say out loud, dryer's turned off, stove is off, etc. It helps so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I've done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if I'm leaving for a long weekend or, whatever. I'm just like, okay, this is turned off. This is set. This is over here. Yeah, like, definitely.
Yeah. You just go through that checklist as you're doing it. So, again, this is something that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I get that. This one may be my favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. This may be the best text I've ever read.
Okay.
In my entire life. Text. In Giant Eagle, I was grabbing ice cream, and a man in the door next to me says, "Yes, all for me." And he grabbed 3 ready whipped cream cans and walked away.
Yes,
I
all for
love
me.
that. I hope he was wearing like a trench coat and he was twirling a long mustache while he did it. Mwahaha. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Text, going along with what Nikki said. Oh, this is a driving complaint. I feel like in today's world, a double yellow line isn't considered a law anymore. It's a suggestion.
Yeah, I suggest you stay on your side because I don't want you crashing into me.
I think that's a solid suggestion, Nikki. I think you make a valid point. If you take a minute to think about how terrifying driving is...
It's very scary.
Well, it's really interesting to think that usually on, you get out of town and you get on a divided highway.
Yeah.
Not talking interstate, but a divided highway where the speed limit is often about 55.
Yes.
And the only thing separating you from oncoming traffic is paint on the road.
Yep.
And everyone agrees to stay on their side of the paint.
Right.
Until someone doesn't.
Right.
So you're counting on not only them being responsible, but having the driving skills to keep it on their side of the road. And you're passing each other at 55 miles an hour going in both directions. And again, the only thing separating you is yellow paint. Try not to think about that too much because it's terrifying.
I was on Washington Pike and I was like,
Say no more.
And I was just like, this is all the bends and turns and ups and downs and everything. And I was just like, yep, this is not fun.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what will make your blood run cold is if you going around the turns on a motorcycle, in the mountains,
and all you
get
have
in the
is paint.
twisties. Yeah, but you come around a turn and somebody is on your side of the road across the paint, and now you don't even have any hope of surviving that because you don't have a cage around you.
Right.
I mean, what's going to happen is my head's going to go through his windshield, and I'm 3 inches from his face, and I'm going to do this. Hello? Okay, the time has come to get all judgmental up in here. I speak, of course, of... You be the judge. Settling issues in the court of public opinion. And this isn't even really an issue settlement type situation, I guess. It's more of a judgment call trying to form an opinion on what's happening. 888-777-6640 is the number to the show. Again, 888-777-6640. You can also text us at 35651. And these situations are always kind of murky and kind of difficult to figure out exactly what's going on when it's issues of the heart. I was talking to a friend over the weekend.
A friend.
A friend. And
okay.
He's been married for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. They're kind of early in. And so, as is often the case in relationships, his wife will buy him shirts, and she got him some cologne and, just different things like that. I mean, this happens.
Sure.
And through a series of unfortunate events, not unlike a chapter from the book of Lemony Snicket, he learned that she, in his opinion, is slowly molding him in the form of her ex-boyfriend.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Wait, what?
Yes.
How?
Well, like I said, he figured it out. There's some clues. He saw some things.
Okay.
There's some photos, perhaps.
Oh, you mean physically?
Conversations. No, I mean, she's dressing him like her ex. She bought him the same cologne that her ex used to wear. He had his own thing going on. She switched that out. And so now he is a little uncomfortable about this because, well, he's wondering, is this simply she likes the smell, she likes that style, or is there something going on a deeper level here? Maybe she's pining for this man. Maybe she's an alpha widow, and, he's just a beta who's come in after the fact, and the whole thing's humiliating for him.
I have a hypothesis.
Okay. Does it help, by the way, that I pushed him down and laughed at him?
No,
that doesn't
help at all.
Okay.
Do you think maybe the ex wasn't the first guy that wore that cologne or dressed the way he dressed? Maybe it's just another guy in a long line of guys who she bought this cologne for and dressed because this is what she likes.
It's a good question.
It could be like maybe, I don't know. Like, that's just, I'm wondering.
Yeah, I find this intriguing because
I would prefer that than her trying to, push these things onto this new guy, your friend, and while she's pining away.
Well, he's more of a fuffa friend than an actual friend.
Oh, a fuffa friend. That's right. I'm sorry.
Kind of a fuffa friend.
Yeah.
No, this is interesting because that's one possible scenario. Maybe this is just her particular taste that she tries to imprint on every man she's with.
Right.
Or maybe it was the specific look and smell of her favorite ex.
Right.
The one that got away, and now she's trying to mold this current dingleberry into what that man was.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, he's uncomfortable about it, as maybe you would be. I don't know. But
I think scent is such a thing. Like, that's
it's a big thing.
It's your core memory factors that really play into that, and so that is such a big thing.
It is.
That bothers me.
Yeah,
I think a cologne, a perfume, any scent related thing it's very personal.
One of the ways he found out was she said, and I quote, "My ex-boyfriend smelled like this all the time, and I loved it." Yeah.
So maybe it's just a scent thing. Maybe it's not a him thing. Maybe it's just this is pleasant aroma.
Well, let me just ask you, if Dave handed you a bottle of perfume and said, hey, my ex wore this all the time and I loved it on her, why don't you wear it?
Me? What ex? We've been together forever.
Play along.
I would smell it if it's, something lovely. I'd maybe
it wouldn't
give
bother
it a
you.
chance.
I think you'd smash the bottle over Dave's head.
I would want to.
And immediately file for divorce.
Yeah, I would want to smash that bottle immediately, but I would pretend like I didn't and give it a whiff.
Would you tell a friend in confidence and then turn on the radio the next morning and see if they were talking about it? This is just such a weird and hilarious problem to have. And he's really uncomfortable about it, and he's not sure exactly what's going on. Does she just like this look and this smell, or is she pining for the man she once had and trying to...
Can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard to figure, and so, why don't we try to figure it out behind his back? And, maybe find a solution, and I call him later and go, hey, man, here's what I think is going on. And he says, how did you figure it out? And I say, well, if you're suggesting that I talked about it on the radio to thousands of strangers, you couldn't be more wrong, and how dare you even assume something like that about me? Because I'm a good friend. That's how I handle things. Now, to the phones. You're on with Jack and Nikki. What are your thoughts here?
Well, is she a psychopath? Is what I'm wondering, first of all, because did her first boyfriend get away, or did he get away? Because, maybe she dresses him up and fixes him up and then kills him off,
Wow, somebody's been watching a lot of murder mysteries.
I should mention that my friend is married to Carol Baskin, so maybe there's something to that. What would you do in this situation? Are you married?
Well, I know people that have, friends of mine that their other significant others have done that to them too.
And
it kind of freaks me out.
Yeah.
And they're like, just lay off. You married me for me, not for them.
Right. Well, you'd like to think that, yes, she met you, you had your own thing going on, your own look, your own smell, and then you guys get together, and that is what she likes. And then if she gradually tries to change that into what her ex was, it just doesn't look good. I think that's it's kind of difficult for the ego.
Right. Yeah. I have a question.
Yep, that's right.
As you were talking, Jack, you said, your own look, your own smell. Yeah. Does your friend shower?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I really needed to ask because I didn't know if maybe the cologne was a solution.
No, I tend to spend my time with
smell.
Like-minded people. So if,
But he's a friend, so I wasn't sure.
French friend.
Right.
French friend. All right. Thanks, buddy.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Appreciate that. Yeah, if he had some hygiene problems, I would have covered that with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have said.
I would hope, as a friend,
said,
or
listen,
even
buddy,
friend.
Yeah, when you sweat, it looks like mud running down your neck. You've got to take a shower once in a while. She's probably disgusted by you and your hygiene. No, he's got that down.
Okay,
he's got that down. So, again, the question remains, and sadly, I don't think we have an answer. Yeah, just trying to figure out here, is this just a look and a smell that she likes, or is she pining for the ex? And if so, how doomed are they? Ma'am, your take on it?
I think he's not a Build-A-Bear.
He's not a Build-A-Bear.
Right, yeah.
That is hilarious. Okay.
She fell in love with him for a reason. I mean, the cologne thing, she could have probably been a little bit more subtle about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had an ex that asked me to wear a certain perfume. Now, this is the funny part, is I wore the perfume, and he kept yelling at me, I hate the smell of your perfume. Why don't you buy the thing I told you to buy? Well, it was the perfume that you told me to buy.
Oh, my gosh.
I will say, this man, he sounds both reasonable and charming, ma'am.
Yes. Oh, no. Well, that's why he's an ex.
Uh-huh. Okay. Quickly, before we go here, so as a woman, if you were doing this to a guy, do you think it would be just because that happens to be what you like, or because that's what your ex did and you're pining for your ex? Honestly.
Well, honestly, I think she still has feelings for the ex.
Yeah.
Especially when she's dressing him. I mean, the cologne's one thing, but now you're going to dress him like your ex? No, he's not a Build-A-Bear. I'm sorry.
Well, I left out the part where she bought him a wig that she wants him to wear also, and some glasses. So, yeah, I probably should have mentioned that.
No, he's definitely not a Build-A-Bear.
Very good. Well, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Text line 35651 says, this texter, has he asked her about it? Yeah, sure, of course he asked her about it, and she was just like, I just like it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going to
say,
admit, look, I'm in love with my ex, and I can't have him, so you're as close as I'm going to get. At least I can get you to smell like him and close my eyes later.
I have a question.
All
so
right.
Physically, is their bone structure the same? Do they look similar at all?
He is physically repulsive.
Your friend or the ex?
I'm joking.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, they're both men. They're in the ballpark. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, they're similar.
Okay.
Yeah, they're similar. I mean, so again, she has a style, a taste, a type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're both, on the taller side.
So I'm
on
wondering,
the thin side. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now, I'm really starting to wonder if she's just, built like this woman said, Build-A-Bearing her.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend.
Here's an interesting text. According to this person, quote, cloning. All the previous boyfriends were dressed and smelled the same by her. So maybe if you run through, now this is some research, and I don't know how you would conduct this research. It seems like it'd be difficult. But if he could run down, I don't know, 3 or 4 exes, if they all dress the same, smell the same, they act alike, they talk alike, sometimes they even walk alike, right? Maybe he can go, all right, well, this is the one thing that ties it together. She imprinted on every one of these guys what she wanted, which would probably explain why they're all ex-boyfriends.
Right.
Because they were not permitted to be who they are. They had to be who she wanted them to be. And they said, taxi!
Right,
I'm out. Yeah, call an Uber, I'm gone.
This is her version of, like, the little boxes made of ticky-tacky. Like, she just got all the boyfriends.
Listen, I told this ding-a-ling, they should have dated longer. It was a quick turnaround on the meeting, the dating, and the marriage. You got to vet people. You got to spend some time. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because as you know, you can hide crazy for a while. But if you drag that vetting process out long enough, eventually you're going to see those red flags.
And a really good social media deep dive.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Then you can pivot, get out of that situation. Oh, let's face it, he's screwed. We have some people in a shame spiral here. Their cute routine was rejected at a Starbucks drive-through window when an employee slammed the window in their face as they were singing and recording it. And, well, this employee just wasn't interested and just wasn't having it.
Hi, thank you for giving me this drink. You are pretty cute. Did he just close that?
Are you kidding me? What? Dude, he's so rude.
I'm so embarrassed.
He's so rude.
I'm so embarrassed.
Knock on the window.
Oh my gosh, he's literally walking away. I'm
Knock on the
literally so
window.
embarrassed.
Let's analyze Nikki Drake.
Okay, let's analyze. I need to find this TikTok, by the way.
Here's the thing. The most surprising part of this to me is the man who keeps telling her, knock on the window. Knock on the window. Get him back here. No. We see his interest in what you're doing. We see his probably mood today.
Right, yeah.
Leave this man alone.
Mm-hmm.
He has closed the window and he has walked away from the window.
Bye.
Don't keep knocking on the window and try to bring him back, because if he's not up for it, you're likely not going to turn him around by continuing to do it. I say leave this man alone and go throw rocks at a hornet's nest. Because it's the same logic.
Do you think it's like a store policy thing? Like, don't give in to this. Like, don't
humor
if a
idiots.
TikToker starts singing at you, just close the window and walk away. Like,
have we gotten to that point in society?
Maybe Starbucks has a new policy. Who knows?
I'm wondering.
Maybe this person just doesn't want to be in a video because did you ask them? Did you get their consent before you started singing and recording?
It's a good point.
You did not.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're at work. Do you want somebody showing up and putting a camera in your face?
Right.
And including you in their little bit and
you're trying
putting
to make
it on
drinks.
the internet? Right. You got
the
things to do.
line is always long, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't have any problem with the employee walking away
me
from
neither.
that. Yeah. Go find a way to get attention somewhere else. But I think you make a good point that it could become a policy because this stuff is so invasive and it has permeated to the point where, as a company, you might have to say, okay, look, it's current year. We know everybody who comes through the drive-thru is going to have their phone out with a camera, and they're going to be trying to do some kind of performance so they can get popular on the internet. When they do that, just walk away. Mm-hmm. What a sad situation. Oh, God. If you find out about a policy there or anywhere else like that, let me know.
Because you know that's going to mess with their timing because everything is timed on a window and you got to get all the orders out before the alarm goes off.
Right.
So, you don't want to mess that up for the employee, the barista.
Working the drive-thru is like being on a game show, terrible game show.
Yes.
Where there's a clock ticking and people are screaming at you and the floor's all greasy and you're running around with a paper hat trying to get everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst game show ever. Something else that's quite intriguing. Surprisingly common.
I have news.
Talking about driving your car through people's homes. This keeps happening, and it's, again, surprisingly common. This story out of Jacksonville, Florida, a homeowner there received the shock of his life when a car drove through his living room. He was sleeping when the driver lost control and crashed through the wall of his house, driving through the living room, and it's the second time that this has happened to this particular homeowner. 2 times somebody has driven through your house in a car. Yes.
Move your home.
He is asking for the city to put up guardrails and speed bumps, which seems like a reasonable request.
It does seem reasonable, yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's something I'll tell you. When I was just a children, deep in the heart of Randolph County, there was a house between Mill Creek and Valley Bend in a turn that was notorious for this happening. People kept driving through the house. And they did eventually put up guardrails, and eventually they moved the road. They just shaved off the bank and straightened it out and took the turn out because people insisted on driving through their house.
Right, yeah.
And
once you're going through there, it's a tourist stop. You have to drive through.
Sure, yeah. They would stop and look through some of the pamphlets there in the waiting area.
See what snacks are in the kitchen.
Exactly, that kind of thing. But what was really bad is the house was built like under the hill, and when people would come through, there's a really good chance that they would go right on top of their bed.
Oh.
I knew these people.
Yeah.
So the bedroom was like under the guardrail, and they could come through and just like. So I thought, what kind of terror would that be to go to bed at night and wonder at some point in the middle of the night, is a car going to land on top of me?
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it really is. So problem solved. But here's what's, I guess, also strange is that, why do I know so many people have had cars in their homes? So this happened to my cousin Joe.
Okay.
A few years ago, he was living in Clarksburg, and this has been several years ago, like 15 or 20. So watching the nightly news, and they're like, and yuck, 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 a car drove through somebody's house in Clarksburg today, and they cut to the footage, and I went, that's Joe. That's my cousin Joe's house. And we went over there, sure enough. Big car-sized hole in the wall.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, what is going on? Where were you? Well, we were in the bedroom, and we heard the crash and came out, and I guess he just opened the bedroom door, and there's the guy, window down. Hello? Not this again.
The common factor in all these stories, why do you know so many people? The common factor is you.
Yeah.
Are you the one driving the vehicles through the houses and then just wandering off?
Or is it because these people are somehow associated with me? These car drivers are mistaking them for me, and they're trying to run over me.
Maybe Jack's sitting in their living room.
Yeah.
Maybe it's today. Maybe today's the day. Let's try.
Continuing coverage on Locust Invasion 2021. We have some updated information for you people. Crisis in the mountains. Locust plague is what I'm indicating. These lusty creatures crawling out of the ground.
So lusty.
With love on their tiny minds.
So gross.
So we had a story here a few minutes ago from Fox News listing West Virginia as one of 15 states expected to experience the boom, the big brood, if you will, of cicadas. And so Nikki was doing some digging and looking specifically county by county at a map over there and found that we're mostly safe, here in north central West Virginia. However, we're not quite out of the woods because upon further inspection, Nikki learned that the cicadas are scheduled to appear in Preston, Tucker, and Grant counties.
We've got some crossover here.
Yeah, a little bit of crossover. Yeah.
Which I was upset about, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants that. What about Garrett County, Maryland? I assume
they're yellow.
They're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's too bad.
They have a crossover too. I don't remember.
Yeah.
They've got pretty close broods. They've got one this year and then again in 2025.
My goodness.
So, yeah.
Well, all right. So it looks like maybe you'll be driving in and out of lusty cicada territories. Preston, Tucker, Grant counties. Cicadas. in 2021. Garrett County, Maryland, abandon all hope. Because you're just going to be swarming with these monsters, I guess.
But we're safe here in Mon, Marion, Harrison. Like, we're pretty safe. We're waiting just for whenever the next, whatever the math was on the 2016 cicadas.
Yeah, 12 more years.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Thanks, math.
Well, I'm relieved that it's not happening right at my house. But as a mountain enthusiast, you're going to be in the mountains. Can you just take the
small win?
It's okay.
It's a small win.
It's a small win after all. All right, fine, I'll take it. Somebody texted in here and said they definitely remember cicadas in Morgantown in 2016. Says the texter, it was my first year ever seeing them, and it was dreadful. That is correct. Flying into my glass, smacking me in the face. Yeah, you got it. Never want to experience that again. Well, sir and or ma'am, if you stay out of Preston County this summer, you won't have to. Yeah. So, yeah.
Jack and Nikki On Demand, featuring Jack Loger and Nikki Drake, with additional support from bewildered callers and random coworkers who stumble into the studio. Stream or download new episodes each week at WVAQ.com and anywhere podcasts are available. For the fully immersive experience broadcast in digital, high-definition stereo, join Jack and Nikki live weekday mornings on 102 WVAQ.